Hello guys, it's Teenage DC Fan back in another video, and in this video I'll be doing an episode review for Black Lightning, and this was Season 3, Episode 7, titled The Book of Resistance, Chapter 2, and just a quick warning, this video will contain spoilers, so if you have not seen the episode yet and you plan on watching it, then go watch it and then come back to this video so that you can hear my opinion on what happened and what I think will happen next. So without further ado, let's jump right into the episode. So Freeland is in shock after the Markovian attack that left Odell gravely injured, but not dead, as we learn in this episode. So I thought he was dead, but apparently not, because yeah, you just can't get that guy dead. I mean, there's no killing him. But the ASA has escalated its aggression toward the people of Freeland in order to root out supposed Markovian cells inside the city. The ASA are going to house to house, pulling people out of their homes and harassing everybody, looking for any reason to detain someone or, kill them. So these are some violent people. I don't know what's worse, the Markovians or the ASA. But anyway, during one of the raids, locals start shooting at ASA soldiers. Black Lightning steps in to stop the shooting, but he steps in front of the ASA squad, protecting them and taking out their assailants with his electricity. He inflicted violence on people who were protecting themselves and their community from an invading force, essentially siding with the enemy, because his principles told him it was the right thing, because he's not just gonna let innocent people die. I mean, even if they're not innocent, actually, he's not gonna let people die. So Black Lightning, Jefferson's principles are often at odds with what needs doing in this episode. Earlier, Black Lightning disarmed a bomb that Henderson had set to create a diversion so he could lead Metas out of the city. Henderson, rightfully, in my opinion, took him to task for it. Jefferson should hold fast to his own principles, but he doesn't have the authority to dictate what's right for other people. It's unfair of him to expect Henderson to operate the same way he does when they don't have the same tools or thought process, because everybody thinks differently about different situations. And Black Lightning has the natural ability to protect himself. His body itself is a weapon. Henderson and Reverend Holt are regular human men with regular human limitations going up against the ASA, whose soldiers are well-armed, well-trained, and well-protected. So it's necessary for them to use whatever is at their disposal to accomplish their goals, be that guns or bombs, the same way that Jefferson uses his electricity. So Jeff is allowed to avoid things that don't align with his ethics or disagree with the use of his tactics that he thinks put people in danger. But it's not his place to police other people's ethical choices, and nothing is black and white. Anissa says as much when she admits to herself that she herself has done things she's not proud of to make the Underground Railroad type thing work. And I assume she's referring to her treatment of the Purdy, which has been abysmal. Anissa asks her dad to get Grace out of the city because she can't control her shape-shifting powers. And the ASA is an ever-increasing threat. He's reluctant, but she reminds him that she can't do it herself because she's still hurt from bringing back Tavon, which he asked her to do. It's manipulative, if truthful, but I need this to be the last time she evokes Tavon to her dad. I mean, there's enough guilt about his death to go around. They need to stop using that as an excuse. So after Black Lightning's earlier interference, Reverend Holt is reluctant to trust him with the Metas, mostly kids, that they're sneaking out of Freeland. But the ASA is closing in, so Holt gives it to God, and Black Lightning leads the kids, along with Grace, in her teenager form, out of the city. And when they run into the ASA, Jefferson doesn't hesitate to protect the group, and they run while he lights the ASA squad up. Grace gets separated from the group, and when an ASA soldier has her cornered, she shifts into the leopard and attacks him. I mean, it's what the dude deserves. Just some random dude, but yeah. So when Jefferson finds her, she shifts back into adult Grace, and this is huge because it means she trusts him. Her emotions influence her shifts, and they're almost like a fight-or-flight response. Her normal form is her at her most vulnerable, so it's meaningful that she feels safe with him and has more people she can be herself with. Jennifer also has someone to be herself with in Brandon, but he's still feeling a way about her breaking into the apartment then ghosting him. She says she has info on Dr. Jace, which piques his interest, but first she wants to see what happens when they combine their powers. Spoiler, fireworks. So when she gives him nothing, he gives her the boot, which, I mean, good for him. She was lying to him, so he shouldn't have kept her there, and he didn't. So Brandon was right that Jennifer didn't know anything, but she wasn't entirely lying. When she thought she was meeting up with Odell, she instead met with Major Gray, Odell's temporary replacement while he's on the mend. When Gray made it clear she wanted Jennifer's continued cooperation, Jennifer leveraged her relationship with Odell and the ASA to get hold of Dr. Jace's dossier. Gray, who you may recognize as the instigator in the altercation that ended in Jefferson being beaten down in front of his students at his high school, is in many ways worse than Odell. And I didn't think that was possible. Like, how could somebody be worse than Odell? But they found a way to do it. So he's a razor blade, and she's a serrated knife. She is more aggressive, more abrasive, and has none of the finesse or the poise. Where Odell has a sometimes weak pretense of civility, she's just a brash and won't miss a chance to remind you that she's the one in charge. When Black Lightning protected her and her squad, one of the ASA goons shot and killed a subdued person. Black Lightning snatched him up, as he should have, but Gray ordered him to let him go. When he refused, she basically said, I'll blow this whole place up, and it took her negative seconds to escalate to obey me or Freeland gets leveled. So yeah, she bad lady. She's so bad. So very bad. But anyway, Lynn demanded more access to the facility, and the Metas housed there for her and her new colleague, Dr. Blair. Gray, needing to assert her dominance, agreed with caveats, but it gave Lynn enough access to use the doohickey Gamby asked her to smuggle in, which in turn gave him access to the whole shebang. Gamby gets into the facility disguised as a guard and leads Lynn to Khalil, who she's, of course, shocked to see because he's supposedly dead. But Lynn examines his brain chip and discovers that his memories are still intact. She wants to save him, but Gamby thinks she should put it down. Which I wouldn't have disagreed with if Lynn hadn't just established that his memories, his self, are still in there. And, yeah, so Painkiller, Khalil, it's like they're different people at this point. Like, it's almost like a split personality. And Khalil is gone. There is no more Khalil. It's just Painkiller now. So that, I don't know if there's really much that you can do to save him. But I guess it all comes back to ethics and morals. Jefferson intervening when people came for the ASA may have aligned with his ethics, but was it morally right when he knows the ASA have done and will do worse? Not going after Colonel Mawson or Moisen, I don't really remember what it was an ethical choice. But if Mawson is as big a threat as Odell suggests, it might not be a moral one. Similarly, Lynn keeping Painkiller alive in hopes of saving Khalil may be an ethical choice, believing Painkiller to his destruction may not be the moral choice. And whether Khalil can be saved is yet to be determined, like I mentioned before, but until it is, Painkiller is an imminent threat, and at the end of the episode, he gets a new target, and that target is none other than Black Lightning. So we have one more episode of Black Lightning after this, before Crisis on Infinite Earths. There will still be a new episode of Black Lightning the week of Crisis on Infinite Earths. He will be part of the crossover, but he will have a new episode before he's part of it. So I'm assuming that episode of Black Lightning, that's the week of Crisis, will tie directly into this. In the trailers, it sounded like his Earth got destroyed or something. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So what do you think is going to happen next, and did you enjoy this episode? So thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hope to see you in my next video, so I can bestow all my DC knowledge upon you.